She gave 5 hungry boys food. Years later, one gave her a mansion. Rachel Miller was 35 years old. She lived in a small house in Oakland, California. She had a husband, a job as a part-time teacher, and a big dream to become a mother. For 7 years, she and her husband tried to have a baby. They hoped and waited, but each time they were told not this time. They felt sad, but they kept trying. One sunny morning, Rachel walked into the kitchen. She saw a note on the counter. It was written by her husband. Her hands shook as she picked it up and read it. It said, "I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry." That was it. No hug, no goodbye. He was gone. Rachel dropped the note. She read it again and again, hoping maybe the words would change, but they didn't. Her husband had left her. Rachel sat on the floor and cried. Her heart felt heavy. She was all alone. No baby, no husband, no family. Only silence filled the house. She stayed inside for days. She didn't eat much. She didn't smile. The world felt dark, but slowly she got up. She cleaned her face. She opened the window. She told herself, "I'm not done." Rachel wasn't the kind of person to give up. One day, she went to volunteer at a foster care center in East Bay. It was a place where children without parents lived. She wanted to help. Maybe helping others would help her heart too. While there, she met 5 boys. Their names were Henry, Kenneth, Joshua, Joseph, and Daniel. They were brothers. Their parents had died in a house fire. Now, they had no one. Rachel watched them play. They didn't smile much. They looked tired and sad. Henry, the oldest, held his brothers close like a little soldier protecting his team. The staff said, "No one wants all 5. It's hard to find a home for so many kids." Rachel couldn't stop thinking about them. That night, she couldn't sleep. She closed her eyes and saw their faces. She remembered how it felt to be left, to feel like no one wanted you. A quiet voice in her heart whispered, "This is your chance." She didn't have much, just a small house, a small job, and a heart still healing. But she had love, and she knew love could do big things. Rachel went back to the foster center. She looked at the boys and smiled. "Would you like to come live with me?" she asked. The boys looked surprised. Henry stepped forward. "All of us?" Rachel nodded. "All of you." They didn't say much, but she saw something in their eyes. Hope. The boys moved in one by one. Henry was 10. He was shy but brave. Kenneth was 9. He liked to read and think. Joshua and Joseph, the twins, were 7. They were always playing tricks and laughing. Daniel, the youngest, was 5. He didn't talk much. He held a little toy fire truck. Everywhere he went, Rachel had never been a mother before. Suddenly, she was a mother of 5. At first it was hard. The food in the fridge disappeared fast. The laundry basket was always full. Chairs got broken. There were crayons on the walls and peanut butter on the dog. Sometimes Rachel sat on her bed at night and cried. She was tired. Her back hurt. The house was noisy. But when she looked at the boys sleeping in their beds, she smiled. She made them breakfast every morning. She walked them to school. She helped them with homework. She gave hugs, told stories, and kissed their foreheads. The boys had been through a lot. They sometimes had bad dreams or got mad easily, but Rachel never gave up on them. She reminded them, "You are safe. You are loved." One day, Daniel came to her and whispered, "Thank you, Mama." It was the first time he ever called her. That Rachel's eyes filled with tears. She bent down and hugged him tight. "You're welcome, sweetheart." As days turned into weeks and weeks into months, something beautiful happened. The house was full of laughter. The boys started doing better in school. They played games, made funny jokes, and helped each other. Rachel had found her family. It didn't come the way she expected, but it was perfect in its own way. She didn't give birth to them, but she gave them something else. Love. And in return, they gave her something too. A new life full of joy. Rachel sat on her couch. The same old brown couch she had owned for years. Around her were toys, socks, books, and laughter. Her little home was now full of life and full of boys. 5 boys, Henry, Kenneth, the twins, Joshua and Joseph, and little Daniel. Every day started early. "Wake up, boys! Breakfast is ready!" Rachel would shout, clapping her hands. They came, running in their pajamas. Sometimes Henry carried Daniel. Sometimes Joshua and Joseph raced and bumped into walls. Kenneth always walked slowly, still half asleep. Rachel made big breakfasts. Pancakes, eggs, fruit, and toast. The boys talked with their mouths full, and Rachel just smiled. It was messy, loud, wild, but it was love. After breakfast, it was school time. Rachel packed 5 lunches, helped tie 5 pairs of shoes, and made sure every backpack had homework in it. Sometimes Daniel cried. He didn't like school. Rachel would kneel down and wipe his tears. "You are brave, Daniel. I believe in you," she whispered, hugging him tight. At the foster center, people asked, "How do you do it?" Rachel laughed. "I don't know. I just do it." Money was tight. Rachel worked part-time as a teacher. She made lesson plans during the night and taught kids during the day. When she got home, she helped her boys with homework. There were hard days. Days when the boys argued. Days when someone got sick. Days when Rachel was so tired she wanted to cry. But she never gave up. One night, Joseph broke a vase by accident. Rachel shouted, "Be careful!" Joseph ran to his room, sad. Later, Rachel walked in and sat beside him. "Are you mad at me?" he asked. Rachel held his hand. "No, baby, I just got scared. I love you more than a vase." Joseph smiled. "I love you too, Mama." That's when the boys started calling her Mama, Mama Rachel. It melted her heart. The weekends were their favorite time. They cooked together, danced in the rain, watched cartoons, and told stories. On Sundays, they all sat together at church in the same row. People stared, surprised to see a white woman with 5 black boys, but Rachel didn't care. She smiled with pride. One Sunday after church, Henry looked up and asked, "Mama, do we really belong to you?" Rachel stopped and looked at him, serious and gentle. "You are mine, forever. No papers can say that louder than my heart does." Henry hugged her tightly. That night, Rachel sat in bed thinking she had no husband, she had no big house, but she had love, so much love, and that love grew. The boys started growing too. Shoes got too small. Voices got deeper. Teenage years came. With teenage years came trouble. Henry once came home late without calling. Kenneth got caught lying about schoolwork. The twins kept fighting over a game. Daniel stopped talking again. Rachel cried many nights in the bathroom, hiding her tears. She was scared she was doing it wrong, but then something magical would happen. One of the boys would knock. "Mama, can I sleep in your bed tonight?" She'd move over and let them in. They'd cuddle close. That was all she needed to feel strong again. One summer they went camping. They had no money for hotels, so they slept in a tent at a cheap campground. They roasted marshmallows, told stories, and looked at stars. "I feel rich," said Kenneth. Rachel laughed. Me too." On school report card day, Rachel felt nervous, but she shouldn't have worried. Henry had top grades in math. Kenneth wrote, "A story that won a prize." The twins did a science project together and got first place. Daniel drew a picture of their family, Rachel in the middle with a big red heart. Rachel framed the picture and placed it on the wall. They didn't have new clothes or the latest toys, but they had something better, a home filled with laughter, lessons and love. The years passed faster than Rachel could believe. Henry turned 18 and got into Stanford. The whole house screamed with joy. Kenneth started a blog and posted stories about being in a big foster family. People read it. Some even wrote letters to Rachel. "You're amazing," they said. Rachel always replied, "I'm just a mama." The twins started a clothing brand. They'd sew designs in the living room and take pictures of each other wearing the clothes. Kingswear Gold, the shirts. said Daniel began to sing. He sang in church, in school, at home. His voice was soft and sweet like honey in the sun. Rachel would stop whatever she was doing just to listen. She once told him, "Your voice is a gift from God." Daniel smiled and said, "So are you." The house, though old and creaky, stayed warm. No matter how old the boys got, they always came home. On holidays, they brought friends. On birthdays, they brought gifts. But Rachel didn't care about gifts. She cared about hugs. And every time she saw them, she said the same thing: "You are my greatest treasure." Rachel never remarried. She never had her own children, but she didn't need to. She had 5 sons. Not born from her body, but born from her heart, and that was more than enough. Years went by. Rachel's hair turned grey. Her steps became slower, but her heart stayed strong. She still sat on her old brown couch, but now with a soft blanket over her knees. The house was quieter. No toys on the floor, no boys racing down the hallway. All her sons had grown up. Henry became a doctor. He worked in a big hospital. Every weekend he called Rachel. "Hi, Mama. How are you feeling?" "I'm fine, baby. Just missing your loud voice around the house." Kenneth became a writer. His book, Raised by Love, became a bestseller. He told the world about Rachel. People cried reading it. Some even sent her flowers, thanking her for being brave. Joshua and Joseph ran their fashion brand. It grew big. They opened shops. One day they made a billboard that said, "For Mama Rachel, who made us kings." Daniel traveled the world with his music. He sang on stages in London, Paris, and New York, but his favorite place to sing was still in Rachel's living room. "Sing me that old song, baby," Rachel would say. He'd sit beside her, hold her wrinkled hands, and sing softly, "Home is where Mama is." Rachel cried every time. One snowy winter evening, Rachel sat near the fireplace. The family was coming home for Christmas. She wore her favorite sweater, the one with little hearts all over it. One by one, her boys arrived. Henry came in with his wife and 2 little girls. Kenneth brought his fiancée. The twins arrived laughing, each holding big boxes. Daniel came in last, holding a cake and his guitar. The house was loud again, full of hugs, music, and stories. They all sat around the dinner table. Rachel looked around. Her heart felt full. "Look at you," she said, "grown men, all taller than me. We're still your boys," Henry said. "Forever," Daniel added. After dinner, the boys stood and raised their glasses. "We have something to say, Mama." Rachel looked up, surprised. Henry stepped forward. "We have a gift for you." Kenneth gave her a small box. Inside was a golden necklace. On it were 5 tiny hearts, each with a name: Henry, Kenneth, Joshua, Joseph, and Daniel. Rachel covered her mouth. Tears falling. "You made us who we are," Joshua said. "You gave us love when we had nothing," Joseph added. Daniel strummed his guitar and sang softly. "She gave us a home. She gave us her name. Through storm and sunshine, she loved just the same. No matter the distance, no matter how far, Mama Rachel, you're our brightest star." Everyone cried, even the twins. Rachel wiped her tears and whispered, "I don't need anything else in this world." And truly, she didn't. Because love had filled the empty rooms. Love had changed 5 lost boys into strong, kind men. And love had turned one simple woman into a mother of legends. Years later, when Rachel passed away quietly in her sleep, the whole city mourned. Newspapers wrote, "Foster mother raised 5 sons with nothing but love. The boys built a home for foster children and named it Mama Rachel's House of Hope." On the wall inside, there was a big picture of Rachel smiling in her favorite sweater, and underneath it the words, "You don't have to give birth to be a mother. You just have to love with all your heart."